I have 10 things I hate about this list. This is one of them.
Just what you've been waiting for. Movies, TV, music, and more. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop every other Monday. It's the man, watch that. It's the man, watch that. It's the man, watch that podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Matt Watch That podcast, the place for reviews, rants, and randomness. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to watch a movie or TV pilot that I probably should have seen but never got around to. It could be a recent favorite, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed, or suggestions as to what I should see next, use the hashtag MattWatchThat on social. Before we start, BuzzFeed released an article earlier this year entitled, "The 25 Movies from the 90s That Are So Good, If You Haven't Seen Them, Your Friends Should Shame You." Obviously, they fired the writer who made the headline succinct. So let's walk through this list and see where they got it right and where they got it wrong. At number 25, Clueless. Now, I agree wholeheartedly with this one. This was an extremely popular movie, especially with teenagers, and it brought back that Valley Girl vernacular into the mainstream. It was quotable, a whole lot of fun, and shows that Paul Rudd doesn't age. Number 24, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Okay, was it really that big of a 90s movie? I don't think I've heard anyone talk about it in the last 25 years. At number 23, The Talented Mr. Ripley. Decent movie, enough to make a Netflix spin-off, but I never really got into it. Number 22, Dazed and Confused. Coming-of-age comedy, tried to capture that John Hughes vibe, and I think was successful at it. Number 21, Fargo. This one was a little too quirky for me, but I get why it's here. Number 20, The Silence of the Lambs. This ranking is criminal. It's one of only 3 movies to win the top 5 Oscars. Best Actor, Actress, Director, Screenplay, and Picture. One of the best of the 90s. Number 19, Beauty and the Beast. Another low ranking. At a time when animated films didn't have their own category, this movie received a Best Picture nomination. And there were only 5 nominees total during this period. At number 18, Pulp Fiction. Now, I'm going to rewatch this for the Matt Forgot That podcast, because when I first saw it, I didn't think much of it. But I like Quentin Tarantino as a film historian. I just want to try and like him as a director more. At number 17, Fight Club. I like David Fincher, I like Chuck Palahniuk, but the movie is okay. It's dark, it's weird, but visually stunning. At 16, we have Goodfellas. I've never been into the whole gangster movie, but this is one that I really like. At 15, The Truman Show. Really interesting concept, especially at a time when the internet and social media wasn't as pervasive as it is now, but this is the future we're looking at. Number 14, Toy Story. The first feature-length computer-generated film. Absolutely brilliant. Why is it so low? At 13, Forrest Gump. Why is this so high? I just can't get over the concept that Forrest was at every single significant historical event. That threw me off. Maybe I'll give it another shot, but I think it's slightly overrated. Number 12, Mission Impossible. Sure, why not? Big action movie, big action star. What could go wrong? Other than a nonsensical plot. Number 11, Home Alone. I love this movie. Perennial Christmas classic. Number 10, The Matrix. I've given my thoughts about this movie, but even I can be objective enough to know that it needs to be ranked higher. It was ahead of its time. Number 9, Jurassic Park. This was the Jaws of the 90s. One of my favorite movies, still holds up on every aspect. Now, the next 3 are Notting Hill at 8, Romeo and Juliet at 7, and Pretty Woman at 6. Good movies, sure, but in the top 10 of the 90s best? Number 5, we have Scream. This is deserved. It revitalized horror while also knocking all the cliches of horror. Number 4, The Lion King. For those who weren't born, this was a phenomenon. It was the highest grossing traditionally animated film, earning almost $1 billion worldwide in 1994. At number 3, Titanic. A movie marvel. Took me 10 years to see it. I'm glad I did, but haven't rewatched it since. At number 2, 10 Things I Hate About You. I have 10 things I hate about this list. This is one of them. Is it a good movie? Sure. Is it number 2 on any list? Absolutely not. At number 1, Mrs. Doubtfire. This is another. I love this movie. I can watch it anytime it's on TV. But in a decade that had Titanic, Lion King, Scream, Toy Story, Beauty and the Beast, Silence of the Lambs, that's number 1? Now, if I had to give my top 5, it would be Scream, Toy Story, The Matrix, Pulp Fiction, Jurassic Park. So what are your thoughts on the list? Hit me up on social media using the hashtag MattWatchThat. On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. On this episode of the podcast, I'll be reviewing How I Met Your Mother from 2005. It was created by Carter Bays and Craig Thomas, loosely based on their relationship while living in New York. The pilot was directed by Pamela Fryman, who helmed episodes of soap opera Santa Barbara, workplace comedy Just Shoot Me, and sitcom Frasier. She would go on to direct 196 episodes out of the 208 of the series. She's been nominated for 3 Primetime Emmy Awards. The screenplay was written by the creators, who scribed episodes of animated series American Dad, single-camera comedy Oliver Bean, and talk show The Late Show with David Letterman. They also created The Goodwin Games, which lasted for 1 season, 7 episodes. It stars Josh Radnor as Ted Mosby. His career started in the theater, succeeding Jason Biggs in the stage version of The Graduate, opposite Kathleen Turner and Alicia Silverstone. He also starred in The Paris Letter alongside future castmate Neil Patrick Harris, who portrays Barney Stinson. He began as a child actor in the drama Clara's Heart with Whoopi Goldberg, followed by the family fantasy film Purple People Eater. But his breakthrough was as child prodigy doctor on the series Doogie Howser MD. Allison Hannigan, who plays Lily Aldrin, is best known for her role on Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Willow for 7 seasons, 144 episodes. She also had a quotable part in the raunchy teen comedy American Pie, and appeared in subsequent sequels. Jason Segel performs as Marshall Erickson. After appearing in comedies Can't Hardly Wait, Dead Man on Campus, and SLC Punk, he made his television debut in the cult series Freaks and Geeks. He worked with show producer Judd Apatow on the romantic comedy Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which he starred and wrote. Kobe Smulders acts as Robin Scherbatsky. She started out as a model before transitioning to acting, appearing in episodes of Special Unit 2, True Calling, and Veritas: The Quest. She had a small role in the remake Walking Tall, and was cast as Agent Maria Hill in a little film called The Avengers. Comedian Bob Saget provides the voiceover narration as future Ted. This is something to look out for. The cab driver, Ranjit, is introduced in the pilot and appears in every season of the series. So let's jump into it. As the narrator, Ted Mosby speaks with his 2 teenage children in 2030 about how he met their mother over 25 years ago. In 2005, he was a 27-year-old architect living in New York City, sharing an apartment with his best friend from college and second-year law student, Marshall Erickson, who's decided to propose to his girlfriend, elementary school teacher Lily Aldrin. Ted is depressed at the thought of being the third wheel and starts to question his single status. He calls upon his friend, Playboy Barney Stinson, and they meet at McLaren's bar. When they see an attractive woman, Metro News 1 reporter Robin Scherbatsky, Barney plays the game Have You Met Ted to introduce them. They hit it off and go out on a successful date, which ends when she's pulled away to cover a news report of a jumper on Manhattan Bridge. When relaying the story to his friends, they tell Ted that he missed all the signals to kiss Robin. With her leaving for Orlando in the morning for a news story, Ted goes to her apartment so they can have their first kiss. Here's a quote without context, but that's the funny thing about destiny. It happens whether you plan it or not. How I Met Your Mother was a breezy pilot. The episode didn't feel like 22 minutes and flew by rather quickly. There was a little twist at the end, which should have been obvious due to the longevity of the series, but it was a nice touch. The ensemble cast is likable. They each have their personality quirks that are well established in the episode. Understandably, there is some comparisons to and similarities with the show Friends, but this one seems to capture life as single 20-somethings in New York a little more authentically. I've been binge-watching some additional episodes, and it's an entertaining show. But so far, there aren't a lot of laugh-out-loud moments. It's quotable, it makes me smile, it's a good way to pass the time. Now for a little trivial trivia. The pilot debuted on September 19th, 2005, which was the same date as the premiere of Doogie Howser MD in 1989, which also starred Neil Patrick Harris. How I Met Your Mother was produced by 20th Century Fox. It was filmed at Stage 22 of 20th Century Fox Studios in Los Angeles. Due to the complexities of the shooting script, the episode is filmed without a studio audience. The finished product is screened for an audience, and their laughter is recorded for broadcast. The cinematography was captured by Stephen V. Silver, whose filmography includes episodes of sitcoms Dharma and Greg, Still Standing, and The Big Bang Theory. He's won 3 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Cinematography of 2.5 Men. It was edited by Kirk Benson, who worked on episodes of animated series King of the Hill and American Dad, and sitcoms Dads and The Carmichael Show. He won a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Picture Editing for a multi-camera comedy series of the Night Court reboot. The score was composed by John Swihart, who wrote the music for self-proclaimed comedy Napoleon Dynamite, rom-com Employee of the Month, and episodes of improvisation comedy, Web Therapy, and family drama Switched at Birth. The theme song, Hey Beautiful, is performed by The Solids, which is comprised of the series creators Carter Bays and Craig Thomas, alongside Patrick Butler and CeCe DeFille. The runtime is 22 minutes. It was nominated for 30 Primetime Emmy Awards, winning 10 for Outstanding Cinematography, Art Direction, and Editing. On the Ski Index, I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. The series was on for 9 seasons, 208 episodes, from 2005 to 2014. If you've seen How I Met Your Mother and have opinions on the series, let me know what you think using the hashtag #MattWatchThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm going to post clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Watch That Playback. When I saw The Batman back in 2022, I was thoroughly impressed with the film. I've always been a fan of Matt Reeves and knew the franchise was in good hands. I liked the direction it took with the Silence of the Lambs and Seven vibe. Sure, it was darker, and there were no laughs to be had, but ultimately it felt like a modern film noir. I think it had a lot in common with the series Gotham, which is one of the best Batman adaptations that kinda didn't feature Batman. I had an open mind about Robert Pattinson, and while he didn't have much to do on the acting front other than scowl, I'm looking forward to see his character arc in future installments. The most surprising performance in The Batman was Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot, aka Penguin, who operates the Iceberg Lounge nightclub and is a middleman in the world of gangsters. He was completely unrecognizable in character. That's what great makeup and prosthetics can do. WB and DC were obviously impressed, as it was announced soon after the release of The Batman that a spin-off series called The Penguin was greenlit. It takes place 1 week after the events of the movie, and will focus on Penguin's rise to power in Gotham's underworld. There will be 8 episodes, executive produced by Matt Reeves, with Lauren LaFranc as showrunner. I'm definitely looking forward to this. Any deep dive into the Batman universe will always have me intrigued. So I've selected a couple of trailers for you to view. Watch it, let me know your thoughts. They're all available in the Matt Watch That playback playlist on YouTube. Check it out. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about Friday Night Lights. It tells the story of varsity football coach Eric Taylor, the players on the Dillon Panthers, and the community in the Texas town that rallies behind the team. It stars Kyle Chandler, Connie Britton, Amy Teagarden, Taylor Kitsch, Jesse Plemons, Zach Gilford, Minka Kelly, and Adrian Palicki, with Michael B. Jordan and Jurnee Smollett joining in later seasons. It also features Scott Porter, Gaius Charles, Matt Lauria, and Brad Leland. It was based on the novel Friday Night Lights, A Town, a Team, and a Dream by H.G. Bissinger. It was adapted into the sports drama film Friday Night Lights, starring Billy Bob Thornton, directed by Peter Berg, who also developed the television series spinoff. Jason Katims, executive producer on Parenthood and About a Boy, was the showrunner. The theme song was composed by W.G. Snuffy Walden,
W.G. Snuffy Walden,
who worked on The Wonder Years, Roseanne, and won a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Main Title Theme Music for The West Wing. The incidental music was created by the post-rock band Explosions in the Sky. It was filmed on location in Austin, Texas, substituting as the fictional Dillon. It gives the series a unique look and feel, really captures southern suburban life. It's been a while since I've said it, but I always prefer when movies and series are shot outside of New York and Los Angeles. I think it gives you a new appreciation of the different parts of our country. This is one of the finest television programs I've ever watched. If you're not a football fan, that's okay. It's an important part of the show, but it's not what keeps the viewers engrossed. From the first episode, you are invested in this ensemble cast. You cheer for their successes and root for them to overcome their failures. The acting is so naturalistic and the dialogue feels true to life. The producers gave the cast some leeway to deliver the lines how they felt the characters would in that moment, and were free to improvise. I'm not sure I've seen a false moment in this show. Now, some people are bothered by the camera work. It is shot documentary style, and the shaky cam can take away from the drama, but my biggest problem, especially with shows about high school, is that there is some cast turnover once the characters graduate. So it takes a couple of episodes to get used to the new faces, their backgrounds, and invest in their storylines. Friday Night Lights was on for 5 seasons, 76 episodes from 2006 to 2011. The first 2 seasons aired on NBC, while the last 3 were on the Audience Network on DirecTV. It won 3 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Casting for a Drama Series, Writing for a Drama Series for Jason Katims, and Lead Actor in a Drama Series for Kyle Chandler. That's all for this edition of Matt Watch That. Thanks for listening to me babble. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed or suggestions as to what movie or TV pilot I should see, use the hashtag MattWatchThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the reviews, rants, and randomness. Followed by the family fantasy film Purple Peel. Followed by the fantasy... She had a small role in the remake Walking Dead. Nope.